All right, well, I had a request from someone a couple weeks ago, actually, on my weekly Squardle video, requesting that I do two at a time again, and they also asked that I start with crate, and so I thought, sure, let's do that today. So, if you're not familiar with Squardle, this is weekly Squardle number 170 on the left, by the way. Squardle is like Wordle on a grid. We're guessing a row and a column at the same time. This 8 on each of these boards is how many guesses we have remaining. And the creator of Squardle had given me access to some bonus weekly boards. You can also get those if you sign up for the subscription version. I don't remember what they call it exactly, but anyways, so on the left there, I've got this week's weekly Squardle number 170, and on the right, I have a bonus weekly board, and I'm gonna try and guess the same words on both and solve them both. So sure, let's go with crate. That seems like a decent. Okay, now, you might think that they did that knowing, but they actually requested that 2 weeks ago, and I almost did it last week, and I decided, I'll wait a week. So I don't think that they asked for crate because of that, but that worked out really well. Okay, now, it worked out really well because we got greens, but the downside to it is we didn't get really any information about the rest of the grid, other than there's an E in the last row. Now, down over here, we've got quite a bit. This could be an ER word, potentially. And then we need to have we could have an AER word. You know, something like water, or, no T. Wager, or mower. No, not mower, because it's the A. There's a bunch of things. Pager, logger. There's a bunch of them with G. There's going to be a bunch of stuff there. Okay, so up here, CR. I mean, it could be crime. Crime is never good unless it's the Wordle answer. All right, well, we really don't have much. The second row and column on the left starts with an R. The second row and column on the right, the column has an R in it. The row does not. That's about all we know. Let's try to just go for new letters. How about that? Let's see. We could do... How about dough? That's pretty interesting. Okay. Oh. Hold on. I gotta click in the right place over here. There we go. Ooh, okay. Well, crate was much better than dough on that puzzle. Okay, well, there's a U, and it's not second or third. So it's most likely to be fourth. Could be at the end, but a U at the end isn't great. Over here we've got an A and a U in the column. We have an A in the row. So let's do something with an A. And over here, there's no A in the column. There could be another A in the row. We don't really know. We don't really have much else. There is the A and the U. That's all we've got there. So maybe we go new letters otherwise. We do have a D over here. This could be a D. Something like fader. We do have a D in the row too, though. But if we do a D there, we don't know that this is an ER, but it seems pretty good. I kind of like that as like fader or something. Or waiter or fader. Okay, so we could start with a D here, or we could start with an I and hope we get one of them. Something. Ooh, is dinar a word? I feel like that's currency, and so it might be. Because I want to try an I somewhere, and I was thinking ending in R could be good because we think there might be an R down here. So ending in R, we do have an R in the first two columns, so let's try that. Okay, okay, and we got the A's. Very good. Okay, okay, not as good over there, but we found that red D. There's an N and a U in this column. Again, the U is probably not at the end. Could it be there? I don't like that. So that makes me think UN could be good. An unword, UN, and then there's a D up here somewhere, probably at the end, but not necessarily. Okay, oh, and there's no I. There's no I in either puzzle, so it's not crime. Okay, so it's not an A, it's not an I. Could it be an O? Crone, maybe? Something. Man, we had Crate got us some really good greens, and we're just not getting much otherwise. Okay, and there is an R in this bottom row, so it could be there. It could be an ER word like that. We could also have an ER in this word, actually. But we have an R at the beginning, so it's not necessarily an R at the end. There's a G somewhere, and it's not in the second or fourth row or columns. So maybe here we could do Roger. Roger, we have the red O. We need an R. It could be DR. Dreer. Dreer could work, but uneag doesn't work. Untag? Ooh, I don't know. What? Unsag? Unbag? But I still don't know what this is gonna be then. Huh, if we do Dreer, man, what is that gonna be? Okay. I don't know. Okay. Well, shoot. We could also do an O up here before the U. Something like found, because I was thinking fader. Found, that's good. And then I don't know. Okay. Well, let's look over here. We're on the fourth row and column. What do we got? We don't have much. There's a T somewhere in the grid. It's not in the first or fourth row. There's an N not in the third. There's an O not in the second. I don't know. It's not going to be RT. It could be AT. We could have a T over here. Otherwise, we've got to have a T somewhere towards the end. There's an R second or fourth in this last column. I don't know. I could guess an R last potentially right now. What does that do elsewhere? We do have the yellow R down here, so it's not terrible. It'd be nice to start with the N, because I think there's maybe an N up here, and this could definitely be an N. So N something. N. We know there's no. Well, we could go for the U here, but we know there's not a U on the right puzzle in that spot. But The U is either there or at the end, so there's a good chance that's a U. But what's a word with NU and ends with R? Well, you could do neuter, but we know there's no D on the left puzzle anywhere. And on the right, I mean, we've already got the A's anyways. There's a good chance this is an E. Because something like darer. If we're thinking R at the end. So maybe we end in E, because these could both be E's. Oh, okay, so, well, then I think of nudge, but again, we don't want to do the D, and we definitely don't want to do the G as well. We could do nurse, maybe? The R's not great. But this could be an R here. And so, even though this isn't going to be an R, it could help rule out another spot for the R. That's not terrible. Let's go nurse. We haven't checked the S yet. Okay, the U was good. Oh, we didn't rule out a spot for the R. We may have. Well, let's put nurse over here, and then we'll. Oh, very nice. Well, I thought the E's were there, but I didn't know about the S. Okay, so, okay, back over here. So, R is not third or fourth, so it's first or fifth. I don't like this. Crar something? No. So, I think this is probably an R, which is what I was thinking anyways. Maybe R-E? Could be. It could be. Okay, so we could also have U-E here. And over here, what did we figure out? Not much. It's A-S-E. This is not an N. Ooh, it's not found. Okay, so could it be O-U still? What would... If it's O-U, what would this be with a D? And over here we have R-A and E. And none of them can be at the top. So whether it's A-E-R in this order or not, it's definitely those three down here, because none of them can be the first letter. So it's gotta be Ader, right? The E is either there or up here. Well, you could have EA, you could have cedar, and you could have could. Could. Cedar and could is really good. And a base. Okay. Okay, and then what about across here? Do I know? I don't know. We don't know about these yet. I'm thinking, because we could have another D down here potentially. In a past tense with an ED. Something like dared. So this can't be an O or a U or an I. So it has to be an A or an E, assuming it's a vowel, which it probably is. I don't really like E there. I think it's got to be an A. If this is N, what is this? Yeah, I don't like that. So maybe not an N there. Maybe the N is down here. And then, I don't know. I don't know what that would be. Okay. Well, we're down to 4 guesses on each, so we need to get some words figured out here. I feel like this is darer or dared. I like cedar and could, but the rest just isn't coming together. We've got the O and the B, and we need an R, and it's not first or second. Ooh, and if this is an R, it's not going to be... It'd have to be here, which then I'm back to drear. So, I don't know. And this O-R-B thing isn't working out either. Maybe not cedar. Okay, let's look over here. I said I was gonna do that, and then I got distracted again. Okay, so there's an N. It's not first, it's not third, it's not fourth. So it's second or fifth. If this is the N, and the A, ooh, there's an A, not first, not third, not fourth. So it's second or fifth. So there's an N second or fifth, and there's an A second or fifth. We could put the A here. I don't like AE. Let's do this. There's an S down here. This is probably an ER and an EN. And we could put the S there. Super is possible. And can't be crash. We could do crass though. That's not bad. This has to be a vowel. It's not A, it's not U. It's obviously not I. It's O or E. You could do creme or cream, however you want to pronounce that word. And Maven? It's possible. Hi, Bernie. What else do we do with that? I don't know. Okay. Well, I'm on the last row and column. I don't have much to go off of. Let's go darer. It could be dares, it could be dared, it could be darer, it could be something else. But those all seem equally likely. Oh, well, yeah, no, because we know there's an R in the row as well. So I'm thinking it's at the beginning, but let's just go with this. Oh! It's one of the other ones. Okay. All right, well, we've got to guess it over here. So it's dares or dared. And this is a definite R now. Oh, there's a D. Okay, so, and it's not there. So this is a D. Okay, it's dared. This could be a few things. Well, actually, what could it be? So we were thinking there could be an N at the end, but I don't like rained like that. So I think this is an N, but I don't like the E. This could be lease. But this NEA word, I don't know. And here we can't do. We could do our G, raged, untag. I thought about. Oh, but there's no T. Unbag. But then I don't know what this is gonna be. Huh. Well, I like cedar and could and lease. I'm just not sure what's happening otherwise in here. I mean, this could be, we could go back to A and E this way. Apnea. Okay, so what's this up here? Opera? We need an erase. Opera. No, that's not. Is that? Yeah, that's how you spell erase. Debar? An unbag? Maybe. And is it? Waiter and wood. Okay. So, I mean, I could just go with wood. Get a bonus guess. I don't have much to go off of over here. I think creme and crass. I think I'm going to do wood. It's going to get us potentially 4 green letters. Am I going to do wood? I could also do waiter and get 4 letters. But because the thing is, it'd be nice to not do the letter that we already know isn't there, right? And you know, we do have a T somewhere in this grid, so I could do water. And it would be checking, the third row and column for a T potentially, even though we know there's not a T there. I think that's better. Or we could even do wafer and check both grids just for the existence of an F. Although I don't think there's an F on the right. But I know there's not a T on the right, so... Do I want to check the third row and column for a T? Or the whole grid for the existence of an F is the question. I think I'm going to do wafer. Okay, we got a bonus guess. Good. There's no F. Should have done the T. Should have done the T. All right, well, I mean, it's good to know there's no F, but... Okay, we are ruling out spots for this E in this column, although we didn't think it was up there anyways. There is an A, which we already knew. Okay, that didn't really help at all with the puzzle on the left. And we're down to 2 guesses. We've got to get a bonus guess now. Man, and I got nothing on the second row and column. Okay, there's no O or U. We know there's the A, which I'm thinking... Oh, is there? It is there for sure, because look, yellow, white, white. That's an A. Okay. So, and we said the A and the N. So the N, now that the A is definitely there, the N can't be first, third, or fourth. So this is a definite N. And we need to have an E. And it's not first, so... The E is third or fourth. A, E, something, N. That's not going to work. I think it's got to be E, N. And we know there's an E in this row, too. So... the R, I think this is a definite R. It's not going to be C-R-A-R. So that's an R. I think... Okay, so we've got A. What else could this be? So up here, this has got to be a vowel. C-R something. It's not A. It's not E. It's not U. It's not I. It could be O or another E. If we do an O, I don't think anything works with the O there. So that's got to be an E. And then I think it's got to be creme, right? Ooh, or crepe. Crepe works. But that doesn't really help with the column. Yeah, I feel like... But if it's an M, it's got to be Maven, but the V is going to be tricky. Paten. Paten. The plate that they use for communion. Paten. Yeah. Okay, and then we've got our T. Oh, but there's no T in that column. Oh, I was gonna say we've got our T in the grid. Okay. I think it's gotta be Maven. Okay, well. I don't know. We're still on that second row and column. I'm trying to figure out what to do up here. So R is gonna be followed by a vowel. It's not A or O. It's not U. It's not A, O, or U. It's not I. Oh, so it has to be an E, doesn't it? Because it's not A, I, O, or U. It's got to be an E. Re something. Re... We could have a T here. ST is good. Maybe like stone? There's nothing that says that's not an O. Stone. And re-put. Re-put is possible. Unfortunately, we have PE over here and EP over here. Man, do I go with re-put or something like that to try and get, you know, take a chance on getting a bonus word over here? Or do I do opera? Ooh, opera would get me 2 bonus words on the right. And then I'd have to get one right after that, but I would have quite a bit of info potentially. And it gives me a little breathing room, but I would have to get the third one right. What would this be? A, P, and V. That's not good. What about rebut and above? Ooh, this isn't great. Could this be another scene? And but then because I was gonna say this could be elope. If this is elope, is that a thing? A steen? We're getting there. We're getting there. I feel like we're getting close. I like T there. What about recut and I don't know. It's not necessarily a T. This could be above, alive. No, there's no I. Agave? No, there's not an A over here. It's got to be above if that's a V, doesn't it? And then, I mean, you could do rebus, but no, it's got to be crass. So then this, and right here, this can't be A, E, U, or I. No, it can't be E. Can't be A, U, or I. It's got to be E or O. If it's E, then I'm thinking scene. But rebuck doesn't work. I feel like I've almost got that. Maybe it's not a V. I don't know. I just don't know enough. All right, I'm gonna do opera. I'm gonna have to get one right on the left after this, so that should get me 2 bonus guesses though on the right. Hopefully this gets me some info. Oh man, okay. There is an E. There is an E in the row. Which I'm thinking right there. There is an R. There is an A, which we already know the A. There is a P in the puzzle, which could be down here. There's an E in this middle row, too. But it could be 3rd or 5th. What about re-buy? Is there something we can do with the Y down here? I don't know what good that does either. I don't know. I don't have enough information. It feels like it's going to be above. But then we'd have another E here. We don't know that there's an E at the end here, actually. So does that help at all? Stent and rebut and above and elope and exert and relax. Oh, it was the E at the end that was causing all the trouble. I think that works. Oh man. Well, this is a risky one. I'm thinking elope because it gets me the most letters. The most new letters. Let's go for it. All right, we gotta do that over here. That's okay. That's okay. All right. We're still sitting at 1 here. So, but if I do Maven, we should get 2, I think, because this has to be creme. It's got to be creme. 2 bonus guesses. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're good. We're good. Okay. Ooh, that was getting a little iffy there. Now we just have to. We're down to. We still aren't like no problems, but like I can get 2 bonus guesses on the right if I do raged. I can get 1 just with the D. Over here, I'm not gonna get anything, but then I can do the double S. Let's get the 2 with raged. And that'll take us down to 1 over here. But then we can do... I mean, we've got to do the double S. And we can't do... We could do something with the U. We could do the double S and the U. Like... there's got to be something. Truss. So it's not going to get us a bonus guess on the right, but it does get us the U. And we've still got 2 on the right. So now we can get one with just the B, potentially. Oh, and we got the B here. Oh, but the B... No, not the B, because, oh, we're on the second. The N-E, which we're not going to get. Oh, shoot. It's too bad we're not on the third one over here, because we get the B there. Okay. Well, if I do... Let's see. If I do relax, I get 1. If I do rebut, I get 2. Rebut, because I'll get rebut and above. And so then that'll give me a little breathing room on the left. Getting close. Oh man, I could do exert and finish the puzzle, but then I would fail the one on the right. So I can't quite do that, even though I really want to. Okay. We've got to do the NB. I think we have to do the NB, which would get us 2 bonus guesses on the right. Okay, so unbag. 2 bonus guesses on the right. Unbag, even though we could finish the puzzle easily there. And now we just need the L or the E. But we've got 2, so let's go ahead and do exert, which will finish off the left one. Exert over here. And then we can finish off the right puzzle with lease. Wow. Okay. Well, that was a close one. Very tricky. I had that E in the bottom corner on the left, and I just couldn't get it out of my head that it wasn't an E. All right. Well, there you go. 2 at once. Survived just barely. A lot of black letters this week with both puzzles, actually. But we got there in the end. So let me know how you did with today's weekly Squardle, or this week's weekly Squardle, I guess. And, you wouldn't have had that one. But let me know what you thought of my guesses and what I should have done differently. And, of course, be sure to subscribe for more.